everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whenever you happen to be watching this video. It's your girl, Blessed Butterfly Tarot, here with another video. I decided, let me go ahead and do a pick a card. Why not? You know, it's been a minute. So if I'm a little rusty, I apologize, but you know the vibes, okay? Yeah, so this video is going to be about mid-year love check-in, you know, and what to expect for the rest of the year. Okay, so here for pile number one, we have this labradorite crystal, which is one of my favorite stones personally, just in general, not even just this piece. I just love labradorite. And here we have the Lenormand card number 32, the moon. Here we have the fox, number 14, and the amethyst cluster. So if y'all are looking at my nails, I had a birthday party for my daughter and it was sunflower themed. So yeah, these are sunflowers, okay? Yeah, she just turned 2. She's a Taurus, so it's been like a month. Yeah, I know I'm due for a nail appointment, okay? Don't judge me. All right, and here for pile number 3, we have number 23, the mouse. And this piece of, I'm actually not sure what crystal this is exactly. When I find out, I'll tell you. But if you know, you can comment down below what card it is. I'm sorry, what crystal it is. And so yeah, I have a nice jacket today, even though my other jacket is my favorite jacket. I said, let me not come in here frazzled and looking crazy and homeless. All right, so use whatever method you need to use to pick a pile. Whether it's by the crystal, by the card, or by the number, then you can pick whatever method it is that you choose. For me, I just go with whatever my eye is drawn to the most, like where I can't help but keep bringing my attention to that area. That's usually how I pick my piles, or how I pick a pile. So you can pick 1, 2, or all 3 if you feel so drawn to whichever pile that you feel drawn to. And I will see you at your pile. I'm going to go ahead and start with pile number 1 with the labradorite and moon card. Hello, pile number 1. If you picked card number 32, the moon, or this labradorite crystal, this is your pile. All right, so here we have Lenormand, the moon, card number 32. And honestly, with number 32, it makes me think of intuition, you know, or something that goes on at night. You could be dreaming about this person. I really think that there is a 5D connection here that maybe might not, you know, have really reached the 3D. I just got a message from Spirit that some of you guys may be dreaming about this person, or maybe you haven't even met this person yet, I'm hearing. So let's read the card. It says card number 32, the moon. It says praise. Oh, that's very interesting. Maybe some of you guys have a praise kink. It says feeling, emotion, imagination, intuition, inspiration. Wow. Yeah, so maybe some of you guys are kind of night owls, or maybe the person that you are attracting into your life is a night owl. But what is currently happening, what I'm feeling for most of you, is that a lot of this connection is kind of just going on in the ethers, okay? And so you might not have even met this person, or maybe you met them briefly and just kind of can't get them off of your mind. And so what I'm really feeling here is like there might be some astral projection, if anything, that's going on, or lucid dreaming. If any of you guys have tips for lucid dreaming, let me know, because I'm working on my ability to lucid dream. And yeah, I would love to get to that point of like, ooh, psychic abilities. But yeah. So yeah, so I'm really getting a sense here of like, you guys are just basically creatures of the night and might dream of this person. So this labradorite is a really good stone for the third eye, actually. And so that's really funny that, you know, I honestly just picked whichever crystal was the prettiest for whatever pile. So yeah, you can say I was intuitively drawn to this crystal for this pile. And so labradorite might be a really good stone for you, you know, if you are just kind of trying to ground yourself and really kind of get yourself out of the 5D and more into the 3D. What I just heard is that the connection might actually even start to ground itself, and you might actually meet somebody who reminds you of the person in your dreams, or is the actual person from your dreams. Maybe they're astral projecting into your dreams, if anything. Let me adjust this really quick. Okay, way better. Okay, so another major arcana card that I got for you. So this is a major arcana tarot by, it says the Street Priestess Tarot. So I wanted to give her credit. This was actually a gift from a friend. So, you know, maybe your person has kind of traits like Snoop Dogg. Like, let's call a spade, okay? So Snoop Dogg does kind of have a little bit of a reputation for being like a pothead of sorts, you know, like he's famous for that ganja, okay? And maybe you or your person smokes, take it as it resonates. Or maybe you or your person kind of has kind of like that kind of carefree persona that Snoop Dogg kind of represents as well. Or maybe your person has a stature like Snoop. It was kind of the image that I was getting. Tall, kind of lanky, you know, kind of like that sleepy look to his eyes. Whether that's from smoking or not, some people naturally have that look. You know what I'm talking about. So let's read the caption here on this card. It says, I strive for balance, restoration, and replenishment, and value patience. I also believe in the power of rejuvenation, calmness, and diligence. Okay, so Spirit may be asking you to be patient here. So maybe you've been seeing this person in your dreams for, I'm thinking, some time now, if Spirit is asking for you to be patient. Or maybe with the Moon card here, you might have been overwhelmed by your emotions for this person in the past. You know, and Spirit is asking for you to kind of like temper that, or you just might be finding ways to ground yourself, which is why I probably talked about the labradorite crystal earlier. So you may be finding ways to kind of like ground yourself and really kind of like take a step, like a bird's eye view of your emotions, so that you can have a better grasp on them and really kind of you know, just have a better hold of your emotions. So let's see what Tarot has to say here in regards to the rest of your love life for the year. So we have Two of Swords, Queen of Wands, oh, Nine of Swords. There's that energy I was kind of sensing before. Yeah, so you guys might be having like some dreams about this person, maybe feeling kind of anxious that they haven't even come in yet. So yeah, you have to kind of, you know, try. I know it's easier said than done. Try to have patience. Okay, one more card, and then the bottom of the deck energy. Okay, so Justice and Four of Swords came out, which is very fitting. And on the bottom of the deck, wow. Okay, so we have the Fool on the bottom of the deck. So, this person, if you haven't met them yet, they are on their way. Okay, pretty quickly with all the Swords energy, and I'm seeing the Libra and Sagittarius placements could be pretty important here, as well as Uranus, which would be Aquarius. Okay, all right, so yeah, you guys, what I am sensing here, and I don't mean, I'm not laughing at you, I just want to clarify that, like, I'm not laughing at you. I don't know, I think I just kind of chuckle sometimes when I think about, you know, certain things as far as the cards, but not you. Okay, so yes, you guys have been kind of dreaming about this person, it seems. So it seems that with this Queen of Wands energy right here in the middle of these two swords card, what I'm getting with that is that Spirit is kind of saying that even though like you might present yourself as a certain way in public, like you probably are the type of person who stresses out about, when am I going to meet my soulmate? Oh, I don't think they're coming anytime soon, or am I valuable enough? And the Queen of Wands here is telling me that you guys are a lot more attractive than you think. And I mean that not just in the physical sense, but in the sense of like magnetism. Okay, so you guys could be some type of fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, especially with this Queen of Wands coming right underneath the Temperance, which is heavy Sag energy, by the way. So yeah, so I'm getting that you guys are a lot more magnetic than you give yourself credit for, and you kind of have to like trust the process and have that confidence in yourself and in Spirit that it's going to come. And again, like I said, I know this is easier said than done. Yeah, believe me. But I don't know, the way this Fool is kind of like coming in, it just, I don't know, it just seems he is coming like this way towards the Queen of Wands here. And so what I'm getting is that once you guys kind of come into balance, into like a state of balance and grounding and calmness, like mentally, is when this person is going to come in. So Libra season might be important. So that is mid-October to the, no, is it mid-October? No, it is mid-September to mid-October. Yes. Okay, so Libra season might be important in this connection. So, or not even just, oh, I said connection. Yes. So, I mean, I am seeing that somebody is coming in here, and they have like a suddenness to the to the situation. So you might even be expecting this person, the way the Queen of Wands is looking this way. I mean, you may or may not know who this is, but with the Queen of Wands looking this way, I'm really kind of getting that you have to look towards the future, but not in a way where, you know, you're stressing yourself out. Be mindful with this Two of Swords here. Be mindful and in the present. Try meditation practices if you have to kind of ground yourself. Yeah, so try to ground yourself, you guys, because I'm getting a lot of anxiety here with the Moon card, the Nine of Swords, Two of Swords, or maybe just kind of feeling unworthy. Like, I don't see any pentacle cards or anything here, but like the Queen of Wands is kind of giving me that feeling of, you know, somebody who is doing their best, and you are doing your best, you know. So like I'm really kind of getting this energy like you guys are really like loved and looked up to and appreciated as well. So, you know, take comfort in that. And once you kind of get into this mode of like not even thinking about love, boom, it comes in. And can I just tell you that that's how I met my husband? I was not even looking for him. Like, I was out with like some friends, just enjoying, honestly enjoying the fact that I was single. And we were just kind of like dancing, and boom, there he goes. Long story short, we exchanged numbers, and want to skip a few, 9 years later, we're together. So yeah, when you least expect it, I tell you, because I was too happy to be single. I had just gotten out of like an abusive relationship, and I just was too happy to be single. You couldn't tell me nothing. Oh, wow. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So for some of you guys, I was kind of getting that you guys might know who this is. This might be an old flame. I'm not going to lie. Like, that energy is there. But what I'm getting is like a possible somebody who might have been some type of friend, actually, or somebody that you just kind of was acquainted with, or maybe knew before in the past, and they're coming around maybe to make their feelings known with this Fool card. Let's see, passion. Ooh, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So yeah, this person seems to really find you attractive with that Queen of Wands energy, like I was saying. So they probably saw you before and was like, oh, she's cute, or oh, he's cute, but maybe assumed you had somebody at the time and just like never went for it. Or maybe you were in a partnership before at that time, and they couldn't, you know. So like here it looks like you're kind of like free, and they're like, all right, well, I guess it's my time to shine then. Okay, heart-to-heart conversations, nice. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. Yes, so all this swords and air energy really makes me think of communication. So I don't know, I really think that you guys might have been already communicating to some extent, maybe in the 5D, or, you know, maybe you dreamt about somebody and you were like, I don't know exactly who this is. And they could have represented this person. You know how sometimes you have a dream and it looks like somebody, but in the dream you know it's somebody else. So I'm thinking like maybe something like that might have happened to one of you guys. But yeah, so it seems like you guys have some really important conversations to have, and I really think that this person is going to express their feelings. And I feel like with this Two of Swords here, you might be tempted to hold back. For me personally, I just, from personal experience, I think that you can maybe just listen to them and hear them, what they have to say, and just kind of like, depending on what they say, you can give what they say, or go ahead and spill it all out. But I am kind of getting this feeling of like discernment with that Moon card, and just kind of like letting them give and then you give, letting them give and then you give, you know, tempering yourself, right? Tempering the conversation. And, you know, I think this is the beginning of something very beautiful. Good luck, and come back at the end of the year and tell me how it went, okay? Thank you so much for listening, and I thank Spirit for these messages for your love life for the rest of the year, okay? Thank you so much, and come back next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If you picked card number 14, the Fox, or the Amethyst Cluster, this is your reading. All right, so with number 14 honestly makes me think of temperance. So you guys might have been drawn to pile number 1, because Temperance came out in a major way in that pile. So check out pile number 1 if you feel drawn. If not, it's okay. All right, so the Fox, let's read here. It says selfishness, trickery, wrongness, clever suspicion, caution. So you might currently be in an energy of suspicion, either towards a specific person or maybe towards your love life in general. Maybe you just kind of feel like suspicious of people. You might kind of be pushing people away, because maybe you've kind of dealt with this energy before in the past. Just people who kind of present themselves to be one way, but you know, they end up being something completely different. And can I tell you, I feel you. Like, as a Scorpio with ascendant in Aquarius, like, I just cannot stand inauthenticity. Like, I cannot stand it. You know, like, I understand, like, in the workplace we have to be a certain way. So maybe you work with this person, I'm getting, I don't know, that just kind of stood out to me in my little story that I was telling you. But yeah, maybe you work with this person, or maybe you know them through work or through some type of work meeting or something along those lines. Maybe you work with this person, or you go to school with them. So I am getting some type of sense of community, maybe like some where you guys kind of like run across each other pretty consistently if you have a person of interest. But if you don't have a person of interest, I'm thinking that you guys are just kind of pushing people away, maybe because you feel like people are just too kind of like fake. I mean, you know, let's call a spade a spade. You know, they present themselves to be one way, and like, you know, once they get you in their grasp, then like they do an about face. They switch it up on you, and it seems like you're kind of sick and tired of that. So you might kind of be suspicious of people kind of coming in, and that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting, you know. Let me put that here to the side, and let me see what major arcana card comes out for you. Oh my God, the Emperor. So I did say that I think this might be somebody who you work with. If you don't already know this person, maybe there is somebody kind of coming in towards the end of the year. Hold on a second, you guys. My throat is just kind of like killing me. Let me, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So you guys, I am working on getting over this cold that I've had for about a week or so. But anyway, yes. So the Emperor honestly makes me think of somebody who is like a boss, you know. So maybe you work under this person, or you know, they're in some type of leadership position at your job. And what comes to mind with Jay-Z specifically, because it's Jay-Z on this card, is that he is a billionaire. Okay, like his money is long, all right, to the point where like he really doesn't make music anymore. You know, he doesn't have to. He has other companies, you know, that are pretty relevant, and that is what is making his money. So even though, like, yeah, this is a love reading, I always get at least one pile where you guys are about your bag, all right? And so you or this person who's coming in, that's the vibe you're giving me, all right? So just somebody who is very organized is what I'm getting. Organized, very about your business, and very much about your bag, and you know, getting this money out here. I don't blame you at all. But anyway, oh yeah, let's read the caption here. So it says, the Emperor, he is a mature man who is stable, reliable, and structured. He is disciplined, a provider, and a protector. So this makes me think that if you guys have your eye on somebody, this person seems to be who they say they are. Okay, so like even if you're like kind of like suspicious and everything like that, you can like kind of try to vet this person out. You know, I'm not telling you to dive in, obviously, because if you already are coming in like, who's this person, what's your social security number, who's your mama, etc., like, you know, I can never tell you to just dive into a relationship. However, from what I am currently seeing, you know, and we're going to get more information from the tarot, this person does seem to be who they say they are. I mean, they don't seem to be like the type of person to really mess around or play games. The Emperor is somebody who is very grounded, very stable, very much somebody who just doesn't have time for games, basically. So let's go ahead and grab some tarot cards and see what we have here. Oh, some of these cards were the wrong way, so let's go ahead and shuffle them. So yeah, you guys might have been hurt before in the past, which is understandable. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera. All right, so we have the Knight of Swords in reverse that came out. What am I getting with that card? Let's see what the other cards, let's see. Wow, the King of Swords in reverse. The Four of Swords in reverse. Wow. Anxiety. Yeah, so you guys really might have been hurt by somebody before in the past, who gave off this Emperor energy is what I'm seeing. Let's see here. One more card and then the bottom of the deck. Wow, the Hierophant. And on the bottom of the deck, wow, the Three of Cups. All right, you guys, I had to go and take a break and get me some tea because, oh my goodness, my throat was just, you know, bothering me. But yeah, so, and funny how I say throat because like there is all this air energy that is in reversed here in the beginning. So I'm really getting like a blocked throat chakra from either you guys or somebody else. Maybe you guys want to say something to somebody or like a person of interest, and you know, maybe you're just kind of feeling a little bit hesitant, a little bit stifled because you're suspicious of them. Or maybe you guys, like I was saying before in the past, was hurt by somebody before, and you're kind of coming out of this energy of suspicion and everything like that. But what I'm really getting from most of you is that you were hurt in the past. Okay, so like up to the point where you see this video, because it is a timeless video, you might have been kind of burned. Let's be honest, you might have been burned by love. And so the amethyst crystal, I like to try to incorporate the crystals because honestly I just kind of randomly picked them, or let me be spiritual and say I was intuitively drawn to the crystal. And you know, I don't really give it too much thought, honestly. Sometimes that's how intuition works. You don't have to think too hard and long about it. It just is there, you know what I mean? And you're kind of able to sense it. So what I'm getting is that you guys need to kind of do some inner work and maybe like some healing to kind of get over this past situation, because I really feel like there might be some hurt here. And like, I get it, you know, the dating scene can be tough out there. It can be rough out there. But what I'm getting for you guys is that for the rest of the year, you guys seem to kind of be focused more so on cultivating your friendships, cultivating that sense of camaraderie, that sense of community. And that's interesting because I was saying something about your community before. So like this person might have been a part of your community and maybe they're not anymore. But this person, honestly, just the way like this King of Swords in reverse came up under this Emperor card, to me, honestly, I don't know. I'm just really feeling like you dealt with somebody who had this Emperor energy, you know, just kind of like, unfortunately, like the shadow attributes of the Emperor, which is that he can be kind of controlling. And the King of Swords in reverse is somebody who can be kind of manipulative with their words, so, or maybe even verbally abusive with the way this Knight of Swords in reverse came up right next to this King of Swords in reverse. So, you know, as a reader, we have to, you know, kind of sometimes give readings that are not lollipops and sunshine. So, you know, I hope that you can appreciate my honesty with this. But like, you know, this kind of caused like some unrest and maybe some issues with like self-worth. But I see that you are kind of stepping into this energy of like groundedness and like a real commitment, honestly, like to yourself. Maybe you guys were recently divorced, or maybe you were married to this person. If you are not currently, maybe you are currently married to this person, and you might feel like there might be some like verbal abuse kind of going on. I am kind of getting with, especially with this Hierophant card, like if you are open to it, of course, maybe even seeking counseling or maybe some type of mediator, but still kind of like focusing on maybe even instilling like some fun and back into the relationship. Because let's be honest, sometimes when you are in a long-term relationship, there are many ups and downs. So this is where you have to use your discernment. If you think this person has more good traits than bad traits, then I would suggest, you know, according to the spread here from Spirit, that you seek some type of guidance or some type of mediator, somebody who might be able to help bridge that gap of communication. Because let's be honest, the masculine and feminine, we have different ways of thinking completely. We have different ways of seeing the world. And so sometimes there is that miscommunication, or like things do kind of get lost in translation. So that's where you have to kind of like use your discernment and think like, okay, if this person has been good before to me in the past, or like they have all these other good traits that have kept me in the relationship, it's worth a chance. You know, so you can have a counselor, try to create new memories, you know, or maybe even focus on yourself for a little bit, go out with friends, you know, and let the other person kind of like figure it out, you know. But instinctively, I am getting that there might be some counseling that is needed in this relationship. You know, and some type of mediation, if I'm being honest. For those of you that do not have a person, it does seem to be kind of recommended that you focus on yourself, focus on your friendships, on your other surrounding relationships, your community, because you do kind of seem to be loved and appreciated here. You have like a solid foundation is what I'm getting here, of friends and like a social network that, you know, really seems to like love you. So let's pull from the Romance Angels Oracle deck. And get some advice. So, I mean, some of you guys might have somebody who's coming in who is about commitment, and maybe you yourself, because if you are in this suspicious energy, like, let's be honest, you know, you might not say, you might not be Rico Suave over here, you know, you might not say the smoothest things. Maybe this person gives you anxiety, and there might be like some type of, there's a break in communication here somewhere. No matter what your situation is, whatever your specific situation is, so take it as it resonates. You know what your specific situation is. Whatever your situation is here, there does seem to be some miscommunication here, if I'm being honest. And like none of these cards, the Romance Angels deck, they're so hesitant. They don't even want to come out. So yeah, so I am kind of getting that message, like this underlying message that, I don't know, like there's like a lack of romance here. There's no cups, nothing. There's just the Hierophant, which honestly can be a little bit, when in the shadow of the Hierophant, is that it can be kind of dogmatic, you know, just a little bit restrictive. Finally, Jesus. Finally. Yeah, so I'm really kind of getting like things might have gotten too serious here. There's a bunch. Let me go ahead and put that back. And you're encouraged to kind of like bring some fun back into the relationship. So wow, new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. All right, so you guys, so if you do have your eyes on somebody, because this fox is looking like out towards this way, towards the Emperor. If you guys do have someone in mind, just try to maybe not treat them in a way where you expect the worst of the situation, okay? Talk to them like you would a friend, you know? Try to cultivate a friendship first and see where it goes from there, okay? Because having a friend or cultivating that that nice foundation of friendship, you know, helps you to see what the person is like, okay? So worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Wow. So yeah, so if you guys were hurt before in the past, then like I do see that there is somebody kind of coming in, and they have, you know, like a very grounded energy with the Emperor and the Hierophant both together. This person could be religious. Totally random message there. Yeah, and very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Yeah, so you guys might feel indecisive, or maybe you feel like some lack of clarity here with these Swords cards in reverse. Maybe you feel some type of lack of clarity as to who this person is, which again, you would really just have to like approach the person and talk to them like any other person. Maybe you put this person on a little bit of a pedestal, and like when you start to talk to this person, you're going to see like they're a person just like anybody else. And if they kind of talk to you like in a condescending way, or like in a way that really doesn't sit well with you, then you have your answer right there. You know, you just have to you just have to like approach the person, okay? So like but yeah, I see that there is like some issues with communication here, you guys. If this is somebody that's in your community, try to approach them, try to speak to them. And yeah, I see like at least the start of like some camaraderie here. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope this message resonated with you. Let me know in the comments. Come back at the end of the year and let me know how this worked out for you, which part of the message resonated, because of course I have to give different messages depending on who's watching or who's listening. So depending on which part of the message resonated for you, let me know down in the comments, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose card number 23, the mouse, this is your reading. Or okay, I believe this is green fluorite, okay? Because in the intro I didn't remember what the crystal was called, but I believe this is green fluorite. All right, so some heart chakra healing might really be important to you guys. With the mouse here, I'm really getting this feeling of like anxiety and like maybe even like some tension between you and another person, or maybe just anxiety in general. Like there's kind of been a lot going on socially, especially if you live in the Western Hemisphere. There's been a lot going on socially and politically. So if you've been watching the news, I'm kind of getting this message from Spirit to take a step away from the news, take a step away from social media. And I'm being told to tell you, all platforms, honey, all platforms, all right? Because if you're anything like me, actually, this might be a message for myself. So yeah, if you're anything like me, like I cut back on my Facebook time only to pick up on my scrolling on Instagram. So yeah, you and me both, or you and the audience, me and the audience, we all need to kind of take a break from social media. I would say YouTube included, but I don't know, I feel like YouTube tends to kind of have less drama than, say, for example, like Facebook and Instagram, or even TikTok. Sometimes TikTok can be a little bit toxic too. So yeah, let's go ahead and read the caption. Sorry, I had to take some peppermint tea, you guys. I'm getting over a cold, okay? So if you hear my voice sounds a little bit funny, then that's why, okay? So yeah, 23, the mouse. Interestingly, 23 is a mirror of 32, and that was the number of the moon card. So maybe you might have been drawn to pile number 1. You can check there for complete messages if you feel called to do so. So yeah, so the mouse says stress, nerves, depletion, theft. Oh, interesting. Disease and flaw. So maybe, yeah, maybe you guys just have a issue with self-worth or like self-value. Oh my goodness. And if I'm being honest, I've been kind of getting this message in some way, shape, or form in all of the piles, as far as like feelings of self-worth, self-value, you know, worthiness to be in a relationship. So you guys might have like some sense of anxiety of being in a relationship. And honestly, Pile 2 had that message as well. So maybe that is a little bit of a collective thing. Maybe at this point in the year, you're just kind of like feeling a little bit jaded from love, a little bit like, okay, you gave before so much in the past in relationship that it depleted you, you know? And so you might have gone into like this sense of hiding, you know, or just kind of like, you know, not being very social, like being very active on social media, but when it comes to actually being social and seeing people face to face in real life, you might have been a little bit of a hermit. So the hermit card is kind of coming up here. Maybe you might even feel like a sense of loneliness right at this time. So yeah, my pile number 3s, you guys just need a nice big hug, okay? Just to know that you're loved, you're appreciated. And unfortunately, too many of us have, you know, kind of bad stories in terms of love. When it comes to love, like too many of us have, you know, kind of difficult stories to share, you know? So I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, take your time. I'm really kind of getting here that you might have like some anxiety as far as like, you know, when is your person going to come in? So it's similar to, this energy is similar to pile number 2, but like in a different way. Because pile number 2 felt a little bit more like suspicious, honestly, in a way of like maybe even self-sabotaging. But this feels almost like just staying away from people, just in general, and being almost antisocial, if I'm being honest. So Let's see what major arcana card comes for you. And we have strength. So this major arcana deck was actually gifted to me by a friend of mine, and it is from Street Priestess Tarot. So I wanted to give credit where credit is due. She is responsible for the artwork, or you know, it's actually pretty cool. This is, I guess, Mary J. Blige, and she represents strength. So yeah, honestly, when I see Mary J. Blige, the fact that, you know, Mary J. Blige, if anybody knows about Mary J. Blige who's watching, she's been through it in relationships. Okay. She even was in a really long-term marriage. It was a full-out marriage with somebody who at the beginning, you know, kind of showed himself to be like a good guy, and you know, unfortunately at the end ended up not being so great, right? And I think, unfortunately, you know, sometimes that's the way love goes. You know, you just have to kind of like be appreciative to the universe that you were able to love and lost. And again, like, this sounds a lot easier said than done, because I know there are some people out there who are like, oh my God, I wish I never met you. Well, it just kind of depends. You know, there is the potential to part ways and still be friendly. Very, you know, Chris from Coldplay and Gwyneth Paltrow, they seem to have separated on good terms. So there are examples of people who separate and they stay on good terms. And with strength, I'm really kind of getting here that, you know, you're kind of being encouraged to like step into your power and, you know, gain that inner strength. Leo energy could be important here, because strength is ruled by Leo, or yeah, is the major arcana card for Leo. So let's go ahead and read this caption. Some important qualities of personal growth and development are compassion, sacrifice, healing, and resilience. Yes, this word resilience is really standing out to me, as well as bravery and courage. So yeah, Mary J. Blige, she is somebody who, in spite of it all, she really kind of like came out on top, because everybody kind of saw how much of a of a SHIT her ex-husband was. You know, just the way like he was kind of like trying to like throw dirt on her name. She came out on top. I mean, everybody was on her side, more or less. Compared to, was his name Kevin? I don't know. The name escapes me, because who cares? A non-factor, you know. Mary J. Blige is literally a living legend, you know. So, and she will continue to be a living legend, and we will be like, oh, what's his name with him? Okay, so yeah, you have a lot more resilience and a lot more strength inside of you than you can even, you know, fathom right now at this time. So you're stepping out of this mouse energy, and you are just really stepping into, you know, your power by the end of this year. Okay, so let's try and see what's going on in the romance sector, though, because interestingly enough, oh, I saw that. Oh my God, I just saw the Nine of Pentacles. And if I'm honest, it came out like kind of sideways like this. And so, yeah, that really confirms the message that I was getting here. So you might have issues with self-worth, self-value, but it seems like you're really like stepping into your own inner strength, and really, you know, you're just kind of like, okay, well, I'm the shit, you know, I'm surrounded by good things. And even though like Pentacles, it can, you know, traditionally mean money, you could just have a lot of things that you value that's around you, you know. And I'm really kind of getting like the sense of appreciation. Okay, so like the one of the cards flipped over, but it didn't come out. So we have the Hangman and the Moon. Yeah, so there's that uncertainty, you know, and maybe kind of like putting a pause on your love life. Spirit is asking for you to like have a change of perspective. You might be taking some time out from love just to kind of like do some inner soul healing. Oh wow, why am I still shuffling? Let me take one more card and then the bottom of the deck, because I got caught up in talking. So, oh, okay, so we have the King of Swords in reverse. And on the bottom of the deck, oh, I love to see it, the Sun. So yeah, so a lot of Leo energy here. It can't even be ignored. You have the Sun, you have strength here. So maybe this person has Leo placements. We also have Hangman, the Moon, which is Pisces, and I believe Cancer placements. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the Moon is ruled by Cancer. Anyway, so you have a lot of fire and water energy here for yourself or the person. And what I am getting here is that I really feel like somebody is kind of curious about you with this Page of Swords here in the middle. So you could be receiving some type of communication before the end of the year, expressing some interest, and it's something that seems to kind of like make you like really happy. So this person might not, if I'm being honest, like this person might not come off in the best way. You might even find them to be a little bit like too serious. So yeah, so maybe you were drawn to pile number 2 because there are a lot of similar messages, but kind of like in a different way. So maybe check out pile number 2 if you want like a full spectrum for your reading. So yeah, so yeah, or maybe like there's some issues with like communication between you and this person. Maybe you feel kind of like suspicious, you know, with like these gray clouds here in the background. But I feel like there's like some clarity or like something that's coming to light here, because you have the Moon and then it ends with the Sun. So whenever I see the Moon and the Sun like together like that, it makes me think that something that is like in the dark is going to come to light. Okay, so there might be some uncertainty about maybe even a certain person and how they're feeling towards you, or maybe this person is uncertain about how you feel towards them. But there does seem to be like some communication that's coming in. I'm thinking like even like a text message, but it seems like kind of light, kind of almost fleeting, you know, just like a hey, how are you, or something like that, something along those lines. And yeah, it's going to come to light, and I feel like it's something that's going to make you like really happy. I feel like this person is somebody who is going to respect the fact that you have this Nine of Pentacles energy, that you did take the time to heal with this Hangman and the Moon. It's a very healing energy between the two of these, because you took that time out for yourself. And even though it's like, yeah, you might have had a lot of anxiety and everything like that, you took that time for yourself, you healed, and you know, you're stepping into an energy of like actual appreciation. I feel like, how is it pronounced? Wait. You know, when you say a word and it's like, am I saying it right? Appreciation. Yeah, appreciation for your circumstances, despite, you know, maybe being burned by love before in the past, or maybe even being skeptical, like if there is somebody that's out there for you. For me, I feel like, you know, when you step into relationships with like a lighthearted spirit, it almost doesn't matter if the person is the one or not, you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, you go and you enjoy yourself for what it is, and you know, whatever happens, happens. It doesn't have to be like end all be all. if you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? So like, you don't have to go into relationships with like this super serious mentality all the time, and sometimes that is what is causing all this anxiety. So I am really seeing that maybe if you go in with like a lighthearted spirit, you know, and like an innocence, you know, just kind of like giving people that chance, but still, you know, keeping it light, keeping it kind of flirty, if I'm being honest, because Leos can be flirts. Okay, let's not get it started about Leos. Yeah, so kind of keeping it light, keeping it flirty, and just kind of trying to understand the person and where their head is at before, you know, taking that dive in. However, you know, you have 3 major arcana. I think you have the most major arcana in your spread of all the piles. So I would be very surprised if you don't meet somebody who has, you know, more of a committed energy by the end of this year. But if not, like, I feel like you will be okay with it anyway. You know, you've done the inner work. With that strength card, you know, you showed a lot of resilience in the face of it all, and like, you're fine either way, you know. So let's go ahead and pull some romance oracle cards. I like this. So let's pull some here. Yeah, and even with that mouse there, it makes me think of, yeah, maybe like some uncertainty. Ooh, deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Check out pile 2. Check out pile 2, because I feel like I'm getting this message more than once. So yeah, so because of your you know, suspicions, you might be pushing away romance. Like, let's call a spade a spade. So a bunch of cards just fell on the floor. Let me pick them up here. Let's see. You deserve love showed itself, and new love came out as well. Yep. The other 2 cards fell face down. But I have romantic feelings and worth waiting for as well. Let me just go ahead and put that out. Why not? The more the merrier. How am I gonna fit this here? Okay, so we have romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So yeah, so maybe you guys are trying to kind of like minimize yourself before at the beginning, or like when you watch this reading, and I feel like you are actually going to step into an energy of like curiosity with that Page of Swords, and maybe, you know, kind of stepping more into the light, because the mouse, like, if you see here, like, he's in the shadows and like, you know, kind of afraid to come out. But the sun is like, I mean, this kid is just like in the sunshine, on a horse, riding around, in his birthday suit, and just really enjoying the sun, you know. So it's just such a stark contrast here. So I really feel like you're going to actually give yourself that space to really explore your own feelings, okay, with or without somebody. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. And so for me, I feel like this is more like saying, like, you know, give yourself that time to really understand yourself and understand your triggers, or, you know, what have you, to really fully step into your worth, because maybe you were not showing up authentically before in the past in your relationships. And really kind of like doing that inner work is going to help you like show up more authentically, honestly. Or maybe you just kind of had that issue before in the past, but I don't know, I'm seeing pretty good things here. You deserve love. You are lovable, just a little reminder. And yeah, new love, a new person. Oh, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings, which is kind of like what I was getting here with the Page of Swords and King of Swords. So yeah, so I am kind of getting like this curiosity, and maybe there might even be some communication before the end of the year. Try to be open to communicating. Try not to block this person off, because for both this pile and pile number 2, like I've been having coughing fits. Like I paused the video to do it off camera, but yeah, and I've had my little cup of tea here as well. So there could be some throat chakra blockage either on your end or the other end of the receiving end, meaning like from the other person. But I'm kind of getting here that this might not be somebody that you know. I think for pile number 2, it was somebody that they knew. No, never mind. That was pile number 1. So yeah, so I really feel like there's like a brand new person coming here for you. You're going to be in your own energy, not even paying them any mind, and boom. And that's usually when love comes, when you least expect it, okay? So yeah, you guys, you are stronger than you think. You are lovable. You're worthy of love and all the good things, even if it's not a romantic type of love. If you have like friends and family, I feel like you are loved and appreciated, okay? So thank you so much for joining me, you guys. Thank you to Spirit for these messages. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.